I just got finished recording a conversation with Morgoth's Review. It should be posted sometime soon, either today or tomorrow, I imagine. And it was a very good conversation. It was a fun conversation, covered a lot of ground. And one of the things that it made me realize, or one of the things that I reflected upon in the conversation that we had, which was about the events of the last few years, particularly the, let's say, the rise and fall of the alt-right, and also the rise of the totalitarian version of the state, the deep state, which has come out with a vengeance over the last 4 or 5 years, and is baring its teeth at us even now, revealing itself for the beast that it always was, but before the last 5 years or so, it could stay under wraps and pretend to be something much more benign. But the degree to which you see censorship and deplatforming taking place of unacceptable opinions and beliefs, and those expressing them on the internet. And what I reflected upon from this conversation that we had was that I've talked before about how I feel that we are headed in a dystopian direction right now, much more than we ever have been in the past. Of course, there's always been a dystopian element to the powers that be, to the state, and to the state-adjacent institutions. It's always been there, but more often than not, it's been something that lurks in the background, and it doesn't need to show its hideous face, doesn't need to bare its hideous teeth quite so much, except in special cases where it has to manifest itself in some way, and enforce a course correction, or enforce a particular agenda, if you will, such as the JFK assassination, or 9/11, or numerous other incidences like those, where you saw elements of the now frequently called deep state manifesting themselves in a way, using violence, and then concocting a story, a cover story, in order to set society or culture down a particular road. But what I've realized recently, the cliche is that the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. And I think that in this way, as a disciple of liberty, I have failed, because to be eternally vigilant, you have to be aware, you have to be cognizant, and think to yourself, what are the various ways that this totalitarianism can arise? What are the ways in which they can take away our God-given liberties? What are the excuses? What are the pretexts under which such a thing could happen? And I really did not predict that it would happen like this. I mean, I didn't think it could never happen. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't think it would happen like this. And by like this, what do I mean? I mean this current effort to fight disinformation. And I should have seen it coming, because there were warning signs going back to 2015 there were warning signs where I have I've talked about this before, but I did a podcast back then on SoundCloud where I was talking about how then President Obama wanted to curate the internet. He wanted, to make it so that you if you looked something up, there was something, and it was something that people were making claims about that weren't true, according to, says you, right? According to him and his cronies and and those who have written those who have written history and those who enforce their version of history upon the rest of us. Anyway, then he was saying, well, no, it's not about taking away freedom of speech. It's just that we need a curator. We need to curate the internet. And I'll try to find that podcast, because it was actually prophetic, considering what came later. Now, what we see today is sometimes just a curation. Like if you type in certain words or phrases to a particular and make it part of a title of a YouTube video, then you get some Wikipedia article or something like that telling you, here's what New World Order really means, and just trying to say, hey, don't pay attention, pay no attention to the man behind the screen trying to tell you this conspiracy theory. Here's what it really means. Says us, the official arbiters of what's true and what's false. And don't know who gives them that title, but they claim it nevertheless. So, and lately, of course, it's just been disinformation. That has been the pretext. That has been the constant pretext, that they want to correct disinformation, and they're going to take something down from that has been posted somewhere on the internet if it doesn't accord with their version of what the truth is about a particular subject. So you record a video about a particular subject that you're not supposed to talk about, and they shut you up, and the reason for shutting you up is their claim that you're spreading disinformation, even when you plainly aren't. I can get on here, or I can get on some social media channel and talk about the vaccine injured, for example, and talk about the ways in which they are suffering and how many of them there are, and just how much damage has been done by these vaccines that have been pushed on us, that have been enforced as mandates, and just how evil and rotten and disgusting a program that has been, and how it has hurt so many people who didn't want these injections, but felt they had no choice because they were being hectored about how if they didn't get it, they would lose their job, they would lose their livelihood, they would lose their ability to participate in society, they would lose their ability to travel. All of these things, and in some cases even more so than that. Morgoth talked about how there was talk about them going door to door even at some point, which would be easy to solve in a red state America if someone came to your door with a wearing a hazmat suit with a needle at the ready. You could just greet him with a "Get off my lawn." But in Great Britain and other places, that's not really an option. So, anyway, I didn't see this coming. and mea culpa on that. I felt like I feel like I ought to have seen them taking the disinformation angle. It's like, no, we still believe in freedom of speech. It's just this is disinformation, so we are removing it. We're removing it from our platform. So you can still say this, you can still say these things, but you can't say it on any platform that matters, where you're going to reach people, because it goes against what we want to convince people is the truth. And they of course, it's all extremely disingenuous, this campaign against disinformation, because they don't really care about what's factual versus what's not factual. What they care about is what they want people to believe versus what they don't want people to believe. I mean, and there are plenty of things that are plainly factual that you are not, that they don't want you to say, and they will label it disinformation just because they can, or because they think they can, because there hasn't been enough. We haven't been making them feel the heat for their tyrannical behavior. So I think we need to work on that, making them feel the heat. That's my personal opinion on this subject. Thanks for watching. Tell me your thoughts below. My name is Andy Nowicki. You can check out my work at altrightnovelist.com. My latest book, The Insurrectionist, can be purchased from terrorhousepress.com.